This is Anthony.
I hope you guys are having a great day. We're having a great day. It's been a good day.
Well, mine's good enough.
Yeah.
No,
Hey.
mine's going really good. Super busy. I was just I got here at 6 today, 6 to now.
Good.
Typical Tony day.
Yeah.
Typical Tony day.
Oh my
It's all
gosh.
done.
So we all had challenges.
Mm-hmm.
How did everybody's go?
I think I did really well.
Yeah.
On Tuesday and Wednesday, I scheduled 5 o'clock on purpose just to like get here and I set my alarm at 4:30, 4:45. Dude, I wake up so much better, so much easier. 4:30, 4:45. So I just made that adjustment, and now I'm waking up a little bit easier. So then I get here, like today I got here 12 minutes, and today was the first day where it felt just like, it wasn't like, okay, you've got to leave at exactly this time because this is when you get there, like you said you would, right? Today was the first day where it just happened, and I just got here and I'm like, cool. It was really, really awesome.
Just stroll right into it.
Yeah.
Awesome.
How's yours go?
Mine was good. Mine was the eating healthy breakfast. Monday and Tuesday Monday I had a super shake, Monday I just had a shake, or Tuesday I just had a shake. Wednesday I fasted because Wednesday I go to my internship practicum and I just didn't have time to do breakfast. And it was so busy, like we helped them prepare their Valentine's Day lunch for all the residents. And so we were in the kitchen, we were plating things, we were helping, taking temperatures, and so it was so busy, like I didn't even realize that I hadn't eaten. And so by the time lunchtime came around, I was like, man, I'm hungry, but the chef was already like, all right, guys, I'm making us lunch because, we did so well, so it was pretty cool. That was really nice. So fasting on Wednesday. Yesterday I did a salad. It's on my Instagram. I did that, the chopped salad.
There was one picture you tagged us in, I think.
Yeah, the first one I tagged you guys in, I think, was a super shake.
Oh, that's what
I think that was the one I tagged you guys both in. The one I tagged you in was the salad with the frozen, hormone-free, whatever it is.
The chicken.
Chicken, yeah.
It's fantastic. It is so easy, guys. You have the link. You can copy the pictures. I mean, feel free to put it up in here. But, that frozen chicken was fantastic and so easy. I keep it in my freezer. We were talking about having salads for breakfast, and I was like, even me, it's like, well, you can't have a salad for breakfast. So I had a salad for breakfast just to kind of whatever, and it was delicious. It was so nice starting my day with something so fresh.
Some greens.
Yeah.
That's true.
It was so nice. And so, but the HEB chopped salads are amazing. My favorite is the Tuscan herb. I use half the dressing because they put an obscene amount of dressing in that thing. And so, but just, half the dressing. I put some avocado in there, the chicken, and it was a fantastic, way to start my day. It was awesome.
Which makes a lot of sense, too, because if you're having, the lettuce or the vegetables in the morning, you're getting more water in them than you normally would.
Body probably
So-
loves
I drank
it.
that's funny. I drank so much more water yesterday than I did the rest of the week.
Huh.
So much more water. I drank 2 of my little water bottles. It's over there. You can't see it, but it's 24 ounces. I drank 2 of those. Usually I can get through 1 of those and 2 glasses of tea. I drank 3 glasses of tea because I didn't have class yesterday because both of my classes got canceled. So I did a whole bunch of homework and cleaned the house. I had 3 glasses of tea, just a hot green tea, and then 2 bottles of my water, my salad, and then I had some fruit later in the day, and then 2 pieces of my leftover Valentine's chocolates because they're still on the counter. But I don't remember what else I ate yesterday. I think that was really it. And ground turkey and mussel mac. Have you guys tried the mussel mac?
No,
mac
my
and
client
cheese.
sent me a picture of it yesterday.
What's muscle mac?
So it's macaroni and cheese with whey protein in it. That sounds stupid, but it is delicious. It's really good. I keep it in the pantry at all times just for an easy thing to make. And so it is still pasta and pasta shells and cheese, but it's got more protein in it.
Yeah.
And so mix some ground
turkey.
turkey. Yeah, mix some ground turkey in there, and it's got some goulash.
So it tastes like vanilla mac and cheese?
No, it still tastes like mac and cheese. It honestly tastes like mac and cheese.
You don't taste any
Nothing.
vanilla.
Is it
Nothing.
thicker than normal mac and cheese,
Nope.
or is it really?
Mm-mm. It looks like it was made with Velveeta, Velveeta shells and cheese, but better.
Okay.
Seriously, I keep it in my pantry at all times.
That's cool.
It is so good, but not all HEBs carry it.
Well, I know they have it at Vitamin Shop. 'Cause that's where I've seen
Yeah.
it. I've
The
never
what?
had the
Muscle mac. It's called muscle mac. Yeah.
Oh, so they're already, it's a thing you have to buy
Yeah,
called
it's a
muscle
thing,
mac.
yeah.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Because I hadn't seen it at HEB, but I had seen it over at Vitamin Shop. One of my clients sent me the picture of it last night, and I've looked at it a couple times, and there was something else. What did I try? I tried the not muscle pancakes they have. They had some sort of pancake mix with like high protein and whatever else. They were horrible. I mean, when you think about what we talked about, just putting the protein powder in the pancakes, nothing the same. Because I figured, one stop just makes it a lot easier for me.
Yeah, but
This stuff
something's
was,
missing.
it was chocolate chip pancakes, and have you ever
Cardboard.
been in a standard shift car when somebody can't clutch right and it has that smell of like the burnt clutch?
Yeah.
That's what they tasted like.
Ew.
They taste, yeah. So
Dang.
certain things like that, like I know.
That's precise.
You're like, dang.
But that's the only thing I can think of. Because as I was cooking, even Ava was like, "Daddy, what smells?" And I'm like, I think I'm like,
It's your
I
dinner.
think it's the pancakes.
and that's it. I was like, maybe I didn't clean the griddle right. So I stopped and I just threw out what I had and I just cleaned it off again. And then I started again, and I'm like, what? Like, because it smells like that plasticky, burny type smell. And I was like, what is that? I was like, maybe it's just something in the house. Maybe something was in the oven. Maybe something was going on. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. And I took a bite of one, and I was like, oh no.
You're like, nope, that's definitely the pancakes.
Yeah, and it was like even like had the like a rubbery consistency.
Yeah.
It was bad. So I'm always hesitant about those things. So it's good to know.
Oh, I love it. Like, we tried it just for funsies because the HEB over here,
Leon Springs?
yeah, the Leon Springs,
Yeah.
they have it. And they have, like, the, like, individual packages where you can just put the water in it and do it. But the one I like is the shells because the cheese is, like, real thick, like Velveeta type, like, thick cheese. And it's so easy to make.
So
Like,
then
it's so
you
easy.
add your own protein to it.
No.
No.
It comes with protein.
Everything is ready to go. Like, you literally make it package directions.
Yeah.
Like, it's, like, of course, super processed. But if you want something fast,
I see. Okay.
it's good.
I thought you guys were adding protein to your mac and cheese. I'm like, well, what
Which
the
I'm
heck?
sure would probably
What are
work
you doing
too.
with your
Which I'm
vanilla?
sure it'll
You
be
can get
fine.
flavorless mac and cheese. I mean,
Flavorless mac and cheese. I knew
Hold on.
exactly what you
Hold on.
meant.
Does that make sense? I can't figure that out.
flavor. You can get the flavorless protein because if you go in like the bulk section by HEB.
That's right.
They
That's what
have,
I was
like, all the-
thinking.
the
I was
health
like, well,
and
then
stuff.
if I just, and then it's mac and cheese flavor with that 20
Yeah.
grams of protein.
Yeah,
So
it's
you can do either
good.
way.
It's good. I like it. Just threw some
I
like
think I'm
ground
gonna try
turkey.
that route.
Yeah.
Just to see if it's as tasty. And then we
Get
get both.
both. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
and then compare it.
I know
Yeah.
we picked up.
Sarah will probably like that one.
We got actually. I went to. I didn't realize I completely forgot about Katie's peanut issues because she can't have peanuts. She's not like she's like sensitive to them. She doesn't like she gets a rash. She doesn't get like the anaphylactic shock or anything. But
So it's definitely an allergy.
yeah.
Yeah.
And so I went and I got pad thai noodles, but they were made with like shiitake mushrooms.
Mm-hmm.
So the whole bag is
Those
like
mushrooms fuck a lot of
big.
shit.
Yeah, and they I haven't made them yet, but the whole bag itself is like 90 calories for the whole bag, and it's like I mean it's a bag, so I can't say how well they taste or anything like that.
And this is the noodles?
Yeah,
The-
it's just- it's
the
like
Thai noodles
shiitake.
with shiitake mushrooms?
Yeah, so it's basically it's a whole pad thai meal, just with the mushrooms as the noodles, not noodles as noodles.
Wow.
That's cool.
That
So-
sounds awesome. Did you get that at HEB?
I found it at Walmart because I stopped
What?
there. I know, right? So by me, there's that Walmart, not garden store, but then general store, whatever the heck they are.
Oh,
Just
it's a
food
smaller,
store.
it's a smaller one.
So I usually stop in there because on my way home, I have to go out of my way to go to HEB because when I pick up Ava from school, I either have to loop around and go to HEB or I just drive this way and there's that
it's
store
right
there.
there.
So I usually go in there and get her stuff for her lunch or whatever else. So we're walking around and she had asked for something. And whatever it was, it took us down the international aisle. And I was looking at it, and there was a whole bunch of them in there. And I was gonna do like I did the video of the Kit Kats. I was gonna do that of some like the noodle stuff that was in there, but I got distracted by the pad thai, picked it up and walked away.
Yeah.
So
That's good.
that's how my life works. But I found it was like 90 calories, and I was looking at the one next to it, which was just the regular ramen, and that was what I was gonna do, and it was like 120 grams of carbs or whatever to the 90, not even 90, it was like 24 grams of carbs or something like that.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is freaking amazing. And then I grabbed it and walked out of the store with it because that sounded better than
You haven't
anything
made it
else.
yet?
I haven't made it yet, no.
Okay.
'Cause I was
I've
gonna
been
make it-
doing, like, I've been kind of ixnaying pasta in general, and I've been going to, like, lentil pastas. I've made lasagna. I think you guys might have seen that on my Instagram before. Like, I've made lasagna with the lentil lasagna noodles, and it tastes way better. It adds a
I
little
feel like
bit
I
more
wouldn't mind that at
flavor.
all, because as long as you got the other stuff in the lasagna, that's
Yeah.
For
tastes
sure.
amazing.
Like, for me, I
I
just
don't
don't
mind
like
lentil
using
pasta.
zucchini because it's such a high water content.
Yeah.
Like, every time I've made it, like, it waters it down. I'm like, this
Oh,
is
you use
soup.
zucchini?
Yeah.
Is that what you said? Oh, okay,
Mhm.
gotcha.
And then it's soup, and I don't like it. And I'm like,
There's gotta be
Yeah.
a different way to cook it though. Because
There's gotta be, and I just don't know how.
Talk to
Oh.
Heather. Heather might know the secret to get it from being too watery.
Yeah.
Because my mom made something, she baked something, and it was watery, And Heather was like, "Which apple do you use?" And she's like, "This one." She's like, "Oh, you got to use Granny Smith." Maybe it's something
She
you
would
guys,
know. Yeah, that's
it's
a good
something
point.
you guys
I
might
need to-
know
I need
about
definitely
baking.
to talk to
I
her.
don't know, but apparently you could only use a certain type of apple if you're
Yeah.
baking it because it's got a lower water concentration.
Yeah, that makes
So-
sense. That makes sense.
Yeah.
My grandpa used to make the vegetable lasagna with eggplant instead of.
Heather does
Yeah,
it. Heather
I've
does it
seen
with
the
eggplant.
eggplant.
Okay, and that's
I've
Heather
been
does it
wanting
with
to do it
eggplant
with
all the
eggplant.
time.
That's
That's
probably
the
why you use
only
that.
time I will ever eat eggplant. Is if
Yeah.
it's in a lasagna that she makes. Yeah, dude, I don't.
I love
and
eggplant.
it's just the color and how it looks. It just throws me. But if it's in lasagna mix, I'll eat it.
Which is how I feel about mushrooms.
And mushrooms,
Yeah.
I won't even eat if they're mixed. Don't put your mushrooms next to me.
Really?
Fight.
I told Heather, you know what, actually, I probably
I
shouldn't
will
say
not
that.
trust you.
Heather, it doesn't matter, it's probably already happened.
Yeah,
Heather-
probably
Heather,
already
and I,
happened.
Heather and I had a conversation about
Oh,
that.
she's already put mushrooms in. I've tasted it once, and I'm like, you know what? I argued for no reason with her that night. No, I'm just kidding.
Because Katie and I
Little
Katie
ball
eats
and chain.
mushrooms too, and I took the mushrooms I put in the food processor and I blended them up, and I mixed them in with some ground turkey, and I seasoned it up and everything else, cooked it up so you can't tell the difference in color, and then I made what the hell did I
I
make?
think she tried to do
Oh,
that
I
with the
did.
ground
I
turkey
put
burgers yesterday. I'm
goat cheese with taco seasoning in a pan and like melted it all up and put it on top, so you couldn't see anything, and she ate it and she loved it.
See, I used to do that with vegetables, like when I would make stuff, because my dad and my little brother were so picky. I would blend the mess out of like carrots, onions, celery, and it would literally be a paste. And I used to make this like trash can casserole, and it was noodles, that paste of vegetables, like a whole bunch of different vegetables, ground
That's smart.
turkey
That's so
or
smart.
like
That's what parents
broken
have to
up
do to get their
chicken.
kids to eat their veggies.
Yeah, and it was a great, and it literally was just, most of the flavor came from the vegetables and everything, and then chicken broth and a bunch of seasonings and stuff, and you just put it in the oven, and it boils the noodles in there, and it's done. And it's literally just kind of like turkey or chicken spaghetti is
Meal
really
prep.
what it is.
Sounds like a good meal prep recipe.
It's good, yeah. But then, yeah, you just blend the mess out of the vegetables, and nobody knows it's in there.
Yeah. I think that's one thing we can do. Anytime that you have something you don't want to eat, but you want to eat because it's healthy, find a way to hide it in your food so we don't taste it.
That's
For sure.
true.
Or
That's what I do with kale in my smoothies. I hate kale,
Yeah.
Yeah.
but I do it in my
I
smoothies.
never put kale in my smoothies. The flavor doesn't bother me, but I just can't get around the thought of it in my
It won't
smoothie.
change anything.
It doesn't
It
change
just
at all.
changes
You
the
don't even
color.
notice.
Yeah, well,
You just
I
have to
mean,
have.
So it's
I
the
do
same,
that- yeah, I do
that's
the
the
same
same thing.
thing
It's
with
just bitter. But when you mix it with banana and chocolate, you don't taste bitter.
Uh-huh.
You taste chocolate.
Huh.
Yeah.
Yep.
They say
All the
celery
berries.
too, but when I did it with celery, I noticed it.
Really?
I
Yeah.
wouldn't- I wouldn't do it with celery.
I do my shakes with celery all the time.
Now shakes like
Yeah.
protein shakes.
Yeah, like I do like the whole
Really?
lettuce. Yeah, so I take this goes back to something we talked about a while back. Like you know how I told you I don't waste anything? So when I use celery, I take the inside of it out with that weird like white spot that's just kinda in the middle of the celery.
Yeah.
I take all that and I put it in the blender. I mix it in with
You don't taste it.
No.
So I guess you only man.
Yeah, because I've done it like
There's
celery
something
and
wrong
spinach and like protein powders. I use like chia seeds, so I make like a super fiber rich shake
Mhm.
with all that stuff in it, and you don't notice it.
That's
The
what I
only
do.
thing that you do notice
kale.
if you don't blend it
Yeah,
enough
that's
is
what
the texture of it. Because
Oh yeah,
that's
you
just
gotta,
what it
you
was.
gotta.
Yeah.
blend
Oh,
it,
that's
yeah.
also I have a smaller
yeah,
blender, like wattage and everything. That may be what it is.
yeah, because I mean I put that
I
thing
just
in
gotta
there.
make sure I do it for like 2 or 3 minutes.
Yeah, and
as
I
opposed to-
hit blend and I walk away. I don't just wait because what I found is if I wait, I'm just like I jump the gun. It's like okay, it's blended up. I can
20
see it's
seconds.
liquid. Done.
Yeah.
Blend it, walk
Done
away
the
from
same
it because
thing.
then it grinds it all down.
Van Greenfield mentioned that if you do that, with certain things, it makes it all frothy.
Mhm.
Yeah.
All cute and stuff.
So and what the hell was like if you use bone broth, which I found this out. If you use like bone broth and you have high quality bone broth, it gets foamy.
Oh yeah.
I didn't know that
I think that's
It's
what he
weird.
said. I think
Yeah.
he mentioned it was bone broth.
because I had been like I use the bone broth as my liquid. Like if I have any bone broth. And I never thought about it because it's just in there and it's been blended up with so much other stuff that I just assume it's frothy because there's just so much crap in there.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, that's definitely something that works. Blend the crap out of everything.
Yeah, just blend the mess out of it. It's fine.
Got good news. Oh my gosh, that's awesome.
But yeah, so I guess that kind of leads into what our whole topic was today. Is
Good enough.
Good enough.
Yeah.
It's good enough, yeah. I
The
mean,
mac and cheese. I mean, the casserole.
Casserole, it's good enough. It's good enough.
Pancakes.
Pancakes. Yeah, if you're not, don't get. I'll have to find what kind we got.
Well, even
And I'll
then,
put it up here with like a big X.
See, I do
Yeah.
Kodiak cakes.
That's
I
what I
like
do.
Kodiak cakes.
Yeah.
They're
I do the
good.
ones at
And that's-
Costco. I don't know if they are the Kodiak.
Yeah,
Oh,
the
they
one at
are?
Costco
Okay.
is the Kodiak
Like the
cakes.
box.
The big one. Yeah, absolutely.
And that was the whole thing because I heard about the Kodiak cakes and I hadn't tried them yet. And it was one of those things where I saw them. I was in Vitamin Shop.
Yeah, you're like, it's might as well just do it all together.
Yeah,
versus
it's already here, and
Just disappointing.
No,
Yeah.
I started with Kodiak cakes because I think my sister or my mom told me
That's
about
why
them.
I like breakfast for dinner is strictly because I get to
Yes.
have pancakes.
I bought a waffle maker, the big waffle maker I told you guys about with the
You got
four
the waffle
waffles.
ones, or you use?
No, you just use the regular pancake mix. You put it in the waffle maker,
Oh, and it makes
is
waffles.
amazing. Yes,
Nice.
Yeah.
super fluffy.
Because they have one that's for waffles, but that makes sense.
I just use the pancake mix. Yeah.
it's all the same.
It
That's
is
it's a
the same.
marketing thing.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, and they have different flavors and stuff too. I always just get the plain flavor
Makes sense. Yeah.
and make the waffles. And we would do like breakfast sandwiches with the waffles. We
Just
do
add
eggs and
protein.
bacon and like some lettuce. Oh, it's good.
It's amazing. It's like you can make a BLT but with waffles.
But with waffles.
Look at you.
But you
With
can
protein
freeze
waffles.
Hey,
those.
do you just understand what you just said? To
Mm.
me, it sounds amazing.
Yeah.
It
Waffles.
It is.
Bacon. What else do you put in there?
Eggs, like fried egg. Do a fried egg in there. It's
So-
so good.
We gotta go have breakfast at your house. You gotta make this for us.
I know I'm
It's
going
good.
wrong.
Straight up.
Yeah.
It's good.
But so when you think about what we've talked about between the shakes and the pad thai, the mac and cheese, the waffles for breakfast, when you think about the good enough philosophy, people look at that and they're like, well, I can't have that. It's not healthy. But why? Especially
It's
if
a
you're trying
better
to break-
option than regular pancakes.
Exactly. It's
Or
better
waiting
breakfast
and
sandwiches.
then waiting, right, to skip
Yeah.
it and not having any willpower, and then you eat crap later.
Mhm.
right?
Exactly,
'Cause
which
that
was
tends
my
to happen.
willpower, or was my thing for the eating a healthier breakfast. is
Yeah.
if I let myself go for
That's right.
too long,
You said that.
I don't have the willpower to not buy the gosh darn Pop Tarts.
Yeah.
And this goes back to the other day I had asked Isaac, because we were standing there, someone was like, I was talking about one of my clients, and he was like, I keep hearing all this stuff about how breakfast is so important. And I looked over at Isaac and I was like, well, how important is breakfast? And he's like, he just laughed. Did you say I hate breakfast?
I
Is that what it
said
was?
it's. I probably said I hate breakfast,
Yeah.
or I said it's so important that you should skip it.
Yeah.
That's what I said, something like that. So it was just something where I basically backed you up.
And the big thing is, like, when you look at it, it's important for some people because you have not a condition,
Connection.
not a connection with
Routine.
See, but
It's a routine.
sometimes-
Yeah, it's
It's
routine.
simply a routine.
But the only reason why is I was fasting for a couple months, like a month or 2 months,
Mhm.
before I went on the detox, and I was drinking the shakes for breakfast, and then my body was like, "Yay, breakfast again!" And so now I'm having to reteach myself about
Yeah.
the fasting,
Yeah.
and so it's that once I get to a point where I get a headache, that's it. My day is done. Like, if I get a headache because I'm hungry, I'm gonna get cranky, I'm gonna have a real bad day, I'm gonna eat whatever I want because I just wanna feel better.
Yeah.
And so I'm retraining myself to go back into get in the habit of fasting again.
Yeah.
Just because now for me, it's like I'm just trying to eat something better for breakfast because
Yeah.
my body wants it.
But even then, when you are eating breakfast, it's healthy,
Mhm.
so you don't necessarily ruin your fat burn. You just don't get
Yeah.
those other benefits of fasting.
Yeah.
But from a fat loss and nutrition, you're still doing what you're supposed to be doing.
Absolutely.
Like that's the cool thing about having a healthy breakfast.
Yeah.
So I do tell people, I'm like, it's so important, you should skip it. But if that's not an option for whatever reason, then you have to make sure it's balanced. And,
Absolutely.
and if it's balanced, then that helps a lot of things at the time.
Mhm.
Sweet. I think that's true. And then it's like, oh, I don't have to fast, but I have to eat balanced, healthy breakfast.
For sure.
Better.
Which they can still have the oatmeal, but throw some protein in the oatmeal or have some eggs with it, right? Something like that.
Absolutely. Add a peanut butter and apple.
Just
you
make
know.
it good enough. Yeah,
Yeah.
add peanut butter to the
Well,
apples.
they did a whole study. I can't remember who did the study. I'm sure I can find it by the time we post this. On having chocolate cake for breakfast and how it alters your brain pattern because you got the dessert out of the way and you weren't trying to save calories for later on. You're like, I already had this. So because of that, you made better choices throughout the day.
Yes, I remember that study.
Yeah.
That was
Well,
fantastic.
however,
They're saying start the
yeah.
day,
How
not
long
to
was the
start
study
the day.
for? Did they do it for
For like
like?
8 weeks.
Did they get fatter though?
No, they lost weight.
No.
No way.
Because
Yeah.
they had more self-control. So when you think about,
Wow.
in the last seminar we did, I made the comment, if you are looking at, in the course of your week, you got 21 meals that you're eating, if you're eating 3 times a day, if you have a
Yeah.
bad breakfast almost every day, you're still like 70% compliant to having good nutrition. So
That's
if
true.
we're looking at 80%, and your meal plan before was 20% good, 80% crap, and you make that flip to a 30-70, and every morning you're having cake, you just
That's
made a
true.
massive change in your
That's
nutrition.
true. I see that. Yeah, that's
So,
Yeah.
crazy.
but
But they were saying it's the willpower
But
thing.
and
It's
then
the willpower.
wrapping people's mind around that. Hey, have your dessert in the morning. 1st thing in the morning, have it.
I've had clients do that, and they,
Yeah,
they
if
get
you're gonna
freaked
have
out by it,
pancakes,
and they
have
won't do it
pancakes.
because they're like, well, I can't do that. So they actually end up going the complete polar opposite way,
Which
and they're
is
not having
eating
any
healthy.
dessert. And when you told me to do this, I
I went ahead and
can't-
just went with the eggs and omelet because I just felt better, and I'm like, oh.
Yeah,
It
it's
makes
like,
sense.
you know,
It's so
I did
funny.
it once and I felt like crap, so I decided because the guilt plays a part of it and everything else. I mean, the people in the study were a different subset of people because they knew what was being tested, they knew what was being studied, and it was the study was cake for breakfast, cake for dinner, and then no cake.
Mhm.
Those were the groups, and what they found is the people who were doing it in the morning were a lot better off because they would have a piece and they would move on and they
Because they're like, I'm like, probably is their mindset was, oh, look at that cookie. Like, I already had my cake this morning.
Yeah.
I don't need it.
I'm gonna have cake again tomorrow morning for breakfast.
Exactly.
Why do I have a cookie?
Like I said, I had my Valentine's chocolates.
Mhm.
David got me because David is excessive. I love you, David. Got me this huge thing of like Valentine's chocolates.
Yeah.
So, but it's nice because I can kind of go pick one or two and put it away. And but it's also assorted chocolates, so there's only a limit in which I actually like what's in there, and then
Yeah,
everybody
yeah.
else in the house likes everything else. So
Yeah.
it works. When I go pick out some, one or two of the ones that I like, and then put it away.
I'm glad they label those now. Before when they didn't label them, it was such a
Oh,
crapshoot.
I was like,
Yeah.
I literally been like,
Yeah.
like
My mom gets so mad because there'd be like half eaten.
yes.
But I'd put them back.
Yeah, it's like,
Like she
somebody made it.
might want it,
Yeah.
so I would put it back. I mean,
And then when they start putting the labels on there, you're like, oh, okay, I like all these,
Yeah.
and you end up with the ones you don't like. You're like, it's dumb.
Exactly, like literally like over half. I'm like, I'm not gonna eat those.
Yeah.
Definitely not gonna touch those.
It's horrible.
But yeah, so I mean, it's nice. I still had a little bit of sugar, still had a little bit, but it was enough to satisfy me and for me to be, good for the rest of the day,
Okay.
yeah.
And it's like you shouldn't feel like you have to be restricted. Again, back to the good enough. Be good enough. If you, know that you're gonna go to a party on Saturday and they're gonna have cake because it's someone's birthday, or they're gonna have cupcakes, have a cupcake. Don't have 12, but have a
That's
cupcake.
true.
Yeah.
But have the burger that they serve without buns,
Yeah.
right? And make those other choices. Still have the lettuce and tomatoes.
If
right?
they've got a veggie tray, fill up on the veggie tray.
Yep. Even if you use ranch dressing.
Don't
Good enough.
Whatever
Yeah.
you do, don't save your calories for later. That's how you make bigger mistakes.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Because that's a Weight Watchers mentality thing, and my mom does that all the time, and she'd always complain. Like she did Weight Watchers forever until she started doing the Pro Coach, and she's seen more results because that's what they teach you. They teach you better habits. But what her whole thing was, okay, I'm going to a party later. I have to save these calories. I have to save these points for later. So she would not eat, and then complain. Well, she ate an entire pie.
Oh,
Well, you didn't eat anything all day, and then
It's
the
like
And
what
then
you
when
ate
you
was
get
sugar.
so hungry,
Yeah.
like for me, I had Pop-Tarts. I know I don't like Pop-Tarts, but I ate them because I was hungry and I
Yeah.
didn't want that headache.
And that's so. Before we go too far, because we talk about the fasting all the time, and we talk about not eating, and it's not that it's a bad thing, but if you're conditioned to fast, it has a different impact on your body than if you just starved yourself.
Yeah.
You didn't eat because you knew what you were going to eat later on is different than I've conditioned my
Having
body
a
not
plan.
to eat.
Having
Yeah.
a plan.
So don't look at it as, well, they're saying fasting and not eating is bad, or not eating is bad, but fasting is okay, but fasting is not eating. Think about it the same as if you're on a racetrack driving 100 miles an hour, it's safe. You get on 1604 at 100 miles an hour, you're going to jail.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, you gotta think about it too. I mean, fasting, you're just fasting. You're going to eventually have to break that fast. You're not starving
Yeah.
to the point where you don't know when you're going to have food
Yeah.
again.
Yeah.
There's a big difference.
And they're, I guess, to their point, like, well, fasting is not eating. And when you're telling me, it's like, well, you have to make sure you eat when you're in your eating window, when you're fasting. So, yeah, a lot of people do undereat when they fast. Like, they come to me and they're like, oh, I'm fasting. I'm like, oh, okay, I already know where this is going. And sure enough, they're undereating. They're not taking a vitamin.
Yeah.
They're barely eating any fruits and veggies. It's like what tends to be the most popular one is it's a blend between if it fits your macros, keto, and fasting. It's like they eat the processed crap because during that time the mentality is, oh, I have the budget,
Yeah.
right? I have this much calories I can have. And then they're not eating their fruits and veggies because their mentality is, oh, I'm in keto. I want to go keto, and that's carbs. And then they're in the what was the last one? Fasting.
Yeah.
Just
Exactly.
because they're just not eating enough, right? They're just they think, and then people don't fast enough.
No.
You know, like people say they're fasting, and it's like, oh, I fasted for 10 hours or 12 hours. It's like, oh, you needed to go at least 15, 16, at least 14, really.
Yeah.
But
I mean, you start somewhere. You start with 10. You start with 12. Then you get work your way up.
and that's another thing I do say, yeah.
But it's the extremes because not knowing what you're doing is just as bad as kind of knowing what you're doing. Because I had one of my clients tag me in her keto-friendly meal that she got, and it was chicken, okay, avocado, okay, pita wedges, and a whole bunch of fruit. And I was like,
That's keto friendly?
no, I know. I'm like,
I don't think so.
And of course, like, knowing me and my sarcasm, like, I had no answer. Because there's no way that I could have written that out
And
without it
sound nice.
sounding, yeah. Like,
It
even if I
sounded
said, like,
constructive.
yeah, because I mean, you put it out there, and like, I can't, like, I'm like, I just gotta wait till I see you, because I'm like, this, like, I love where your head was with, like, this half of the plate, but, like, this half of the plate's gotta
So
go.
you just spaced out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's,
And again, that goes to that mentality of, oh, I'm keto, but then
yeah.
I'm vegan. It's
it
like,
is.
no, you
It's
gotta
so
stick
much
with one.
confusion.
I had somebody text me today, and they're like, "Hey, I'd like to sit down and pick your brain about switching over to vegan." I'm like, "Dude, you tried so many diets, and you can't stick to anything. So, no, in my opinion, you shouldn't do it. In my opinion, it's too many rules. In my opinion, just start eating veggies."
Yeah.
And
adamant.
start moving, take your vitamins, and start with those three things, and let's see what happens. Right? Like, it's crazy.
I mean, it makes I get where people go with a lot of these ideas, because this goes back to when we talked about the fad diets. You had success with keto, you had success with fasting, I had success with If It Fits Your Macros, but we all know somebody who didn't and
Very
is
true.
still trying it.
Very true.
It's the same as anything else. Like, if you're not having success with something, or you start seeing success with something, you start seeing a change with something, just stick with it for a little bit longer.
Yeah.
I had one lady who was asking me about a ketogenic diet. She's like, I dropped 10 pounds in the first week. Okay, water and a whole bunch of other stuff, and inflammation. Like, I get that. And then she's like, well, I've only dropped 5 more pounds, and this has been a total of a month. So you mean to tell me you dropped 15 pounds
In 1 month.
in 1 month, and you want to change it because you haven't lost as much as you lost in that first week? It's like, stay with it. Well, it's been 4 weeks, and I don't know if I should. Just stay with it. It's your body needs 4 weeks to adapt to it. Then after that, 6 weeks, your body's gonna start changing again, and then it'll keep
Metabolism.
changing. And then you have to change your training. You have to change how you feel. But it's we get to that point where we're so used to the quick fix. So and so did this, they lost this. I lost 15 pounds this way, but somebody else is doing a vegan diet and they lost 20 pounds. Someone else is doing this.
Yep.
Everyone has their own journey they're going through, so you kind of have to stay away from people's nutrition. Don't mirror anything anyone else is doing, because if you have really high inflammation and you're not getting in a lot of fiber, you're not getting a lot of vegetables, and you go vegan, you're going to see a tremendous amount of weight drop off you.
Absolutely.
But that doesn't mean that your body can sustain it, or that it's good for somebody else.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the biggest thing we have.
Everybody's different.
Yeah.
Everybody's
And you know more so probably than any of us where the genetics and the nutrition field's going. Like, that proves genetics. Everybody's different. You gotta
Everything
approach
is-
it
yeah,
differently.
exactly.
Your history's different. Everything. The way you were born, all that just goes into it.
There's so much that
Yeah.
it's just like, the thing that people need to understand is, why can't you just give me a meal plan? Because there's no way that I could ever give you something
Yeah.
that I know and you know 100% without a doubt is going to work. The only person who knows what you like to eat, how you like to eat, what your schedule is, when you can eat, is you. Because I can tell you need to eat 3 meals a day when you've got enough time for maybe 2.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah.
You know? And I can tell you all day what to eat, but I don't know anything about you.
And in the back of my mind, I know it's not going to work.
It's not, and that's
I know
exactly
you're not going
right.
to stick to this.
Well, and then how many times have you guys had somebody who sits there and goes, I will eat anything you tell me to. And then you tell them to eat something, and the next words out of their mouth, I can't eat that. And it's
I don't like veggies.
yeah. And it's like, well, why can't you? I don't like it. Okay, no. You
they do
won't
say
eat
that-
it is different than I can't eat it. I can't. I get sick. I get nauseous. I get hives. That's I can't. I don't like the way broccoli tastes. That's an I can't. I won't. Not an I can't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can't is literally this will make me sick
Yeah.
or
You
die.
have a reason.
Yeah, like
Good reason.
And that's exactly right. And that's the thing is that meal plans don't work. At the end of the day, meal plans do not work. And the only time I think anybody should ever be given a meal plan is if they are specifically training to do something like bodybuilding.
And if they're, I mean, at that point, they're an advanced client.
Yes, exactly.
They're familiar with eating their vegetables and forcing things down their throat, eating a little bit too much, even if you don't want to. Like they have these habits that essentially what it means is they're down to do anything. So if you tell them, hey, you don't have to eat this much and you can actually do this, they're like, oh shit, oh, so they comply better to a meal plan and to these macros because to them it's actually scaled back a bit
Yeah.
to what they were expecting or used to, right? And Tony knows the most out of all that is just. So how many diets have you fixed? They're like, hey, I have a competition coming up in a month. My trainer has me doing this, but I don't look the same. Can you help me?
I mean, it
Almost
sounds
every
horrible.
competition.
Almost every person I've ever worked with who has a trainer who doesn't know anything about nutrition, I've had to fix their diets. And it comes down to, I can look at you and kind of figure out what you need. You tell me how you're training. I can tell you how to manipulate those things. We all can. We've been doing it long enough. But those are like highly compliant people.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of people go with the old school, this is what works because it's what works. And that is the most harmful thing you can do in any sort of training for any sort of competition. You have to know the body in front of you. And that's the big thing.
That's true.
And
because
I mean,
when they read stuff online, they're general statements.
Yeah. And when you think about like compliancy standpoints, the first diet I ever did for a competition, I was under the impression, old school mentality, hands down, not gonna lie, I was under the impression that I had to be eating, like the last 4 weeks, I had to be eating fish for every single meal. I can honestly say you know nothing about being compliant and willing to eat anything until it's taken you an hour to put down 8 ounces of fish and you want to throw up, and your next meal is in 30 minutes and you want to put down another 8 ounces of fish and you want to throw up, and you're debating, like crying at the kitchen table because it took you an hour to put down the last 8 ounces because for the last 4 weeks it's all you've been eating and you want to throw up.
8 ounces of salmon every.
And so when people tell me they're willing to eat anything, I'm like, I will tell them, will you eat fish 4 times a day, 8 ounces a time, cold?
Because I've done it.
Yeah. No,
And
I'm
you
not.
did it cold?
Cold.
Because
Then
of
no,
reason.
you are
No,
not willing
I
to
did it
eat
cold
anything.
because of the smell of heating it up. It would make me nauseous after a while. Yeah, so cold, at least there was no smell to it.
You could.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Like there was like I
See,
mean,
that's the thing. How so many times we're like, oh, I gotta eat my chicken and broccoli, and I can't do. It's like, whoa.
So when you think about the level of compliance, like that is the level of compliance you need to make a meal planner work. It's on this paper. I do not deviate from it.
That's true.
I had one lady who she was getting ready for a show and she asked me, she's like, hey, can I have this? Is it on your list? No. So then do you think you can have it? Plain and simple. If it's not on this piece of paper, can you have it? Can you eat it? No.
Then no.
Yeah. And it's that simple, but that's where the difference between the average person who wants to lose weight, who can eat anything, versus competitor. Because you have something on the line, whether it's mixed martial arts, whether it's boxing, whether it's swimming, whether it's bodybuilding. You have something on the line that needs your nutrition to be 110% on point.
Yeah.
When you do not have that, when you have general health, and kids and a husband or a wife or spouse that likes to do things,
And you
the meal plan
never
is one.
exercised or thought about eating healthy your whole life, and now you want to do it. It's
Yeah.
Like, well, it's just
we look
easier.
more for good enough. for
Yeah.
that.
It's just easier to be told what to eat. Of course it is. At the end of the day, it is. But at the same time, is that I hate broccoli. I hate broccoli. I will eat it.
Mm-hmm.
It's fine. But if I have the choice, I'm gonna choose Brussels sprouts over broccoli.
Yeah.
I guarantee 95% of the other people are gonna choose broccoli over Brussels sprouts.
Yeah.
But I don't know that.
I would, yeah. Fuck that.
I love
I don't
Brussels
know.
sprouts.
I know you love Brussels.
I
I'm
love
like, when you said
Brussels
it that one
sprouts.
time, I'm like, damn, she loves.
I don't know what it is.
You love Brussels sprouts?
I do.
I can have
Actually,
like 4 or 5, and then I'm like,
I can eat an entire package. Like
So-
I will roast an entire package and eat an
those
entire
shredded bags. Did we talk about shredded bags at one point? The bags of shredded Brussels sprouts.
I don't think so.
shredded.
They make yeah.
Oh, I don't think I wouldn't mind shredded at
So
all.
it's shredded up like shredded lettuce.
It's
But
literally just the fact that it's a ball that I'm just like,
Oh, dude, I don't know why. It's like you pop in. It's like little popcorns.
yeah.
It's
The better.
awesome.
Yeah.
Same thing. You guys like the baby tomatoes?
Nope,
No.
I can't eat those. Those
I
are
hate
disgusting.
those.
I hate
Yeah.
tomatoes. I hate tomatoes more than I hate broccoli.
Okay.
I cannot eat
I hate-
tomatoes.
I
So-
hate those little
I've gotten
cherry
better
It pops
about
and
it.
it's gross.
Only because I know they're good for me. That's the only reason I got better at it. But I have to put them with something in order to eat them.
Those little ones?
No, anything, any tomatoes.
Oh, any
like if I put it on a sandwich, I can eat it. If you hand me a tomato,
Oh, if it's sliced, yeah.
yeah, you
No.
put it on something.
Not
we're
even
good.
that.
Oh,
The
Really?
texture of tomatoes freaks me out. This is gonna
You like
sound so
ketchup?
stupid. Love ketchup, but
Yeah.
it's got a lot of sugar in it.
Well,
So that's why
it's tasty.
it's different.
It's just
No,
yeah.
tomatoes freaks me out because tomatoes make you think of spiders. There is no like logical connection other than in my brain. When I was younger, my mom gave me a cherry tomato and she was like, "Try it." And I was like, "Sure, it's pretty, it's red." I popped it in my mouth. It popped. I threw up
Yeah.
because in my mind, when you kill a spider, have you ever like
Oh,
stepped on a spider
yeah.
and they?
Oh yeah.
That's exactly what went through my mind. I
Yeah.
refuse to eat tomatoes.
That's
I will
actually-
eat
wow.
cooked
No.
tomatoes. Cooked tomatoes are perfectly
Even
fine.
that,
Raw,
even
will
that
not touch.
stupid gum that they had, that when you would bite
Oh,
into
yeah.
it, that bubble gum.
Yeah.
But
Juicy
whatever.
fruit, whatever.
I don't know.
Whatever it was.
But as a kid, they would like, "You want some?" And I'm like, "Yeah." Ugh. I was like, "Fuck, that's nasty."
Yeah, it's-
Like,
Yeah.
what are you putting in my mouth? This is like, nah.
I don't know. Tomatoes freak me out. Texture, I don't know. I have tried on so many occasions to be an adult, eat your vegetables, shut up.
I don't like
can't.
tomato in my salad.
I can't.
Now that I think about it, I only like tomato if it's in sandwiches or a burger.
I will only eat tomatoes if they're cooked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or sun-dried tomatoes in
If
salads.
they're cooked, yeah, you're
Yeah.
right. Now that I think about it, in omelets, I love it. Sun-dried
Yeah.
tomatoes, I hate.
I put like tomatoes in almost everything I cook. And I love it. I think it's
Just
fine.
cook it because it's
Cooked.
cooked. Yeah.
It's fine. Raw tomatoes I will not touch.
Favorite veggie? Favorite veggie? Cooked. Favorite cooked veggie.
Brussels
Not saying
sprouts.
Brussels sprouts. I love bell peppers.
Oh, that's
I love-
right. Bell pepper, red bell
Red,
peppers,
green,
roasted.
yellow.
Oh,
I think
Roasted, yeah.
my favorite
So good.
cooked is cauliflower.
Really?
Yeah.
I
Because
like it
I
too,
think it's-
but
because you can mash it up and like
I love
not
the mashed potatoes.
not even with the mashed potatoes. Like,
I
I
love
just like
cauliflower.
mashed up
Cauliflower.
cauliflower. Just like take it, don't even season it, just mash it up. Yeah.
I love
I
cauliflower.
went on a thing
Raw.
for a while, raw too.
Raw cauliflower
Yeah.
with
you
some
hear when I used to bring
dressing.
the bags
Oh.
of broccoli and
Yeah,
cauliflower.
I
just,
know, you crazy,
So good.
crazy dude.
I know. I
Well, I
Raw
could do the-
broccoli with Caesar dressing is delicious.
Oh, that sounds good.
I don't know why it's delicious.
You know what I put on my veggies? I can go no dressing as long as I get some like lemon or lime essential oil.
Yeah.
And then I'll do pink salt. The pink salt just gives it that little tangy on top of the lemon and lime. Oh, dude, I love it.
I like orange vinaigrettes. You can make an
Salt
orange
makes
vinaigrette
it.
just like
Because we're always deficient in it.
yeah.
Vinaigrettes.
An orange. What is the word?
Oh,
juice
the
it.
juice, yeah.
Juice
Yes, yes,
the
yes.
juice the orange. 1 part orange juice, like fresh orange juice.
Ah, yeah,
3
that
parts
sounds
olive
amazing.
oil with a little bit of herbs and some pink sea salt. Blend
That's
the
what
mess
it
out of
is.
that.
Essentially,
It is a delicious vinaigrette.
she always makes vinaigrettes. Now that I think about it, that's what I used yesterday in my salad. She'll just like, and then we also signed up for that olive oil membership
Oh, yeah.
out of Sonoma Valley. So we get it from Sonoma. Every
That's awesome.
quarter we get 2 bottles of different like flavors and stuff. Like last Sonoma we had strawberry balsamic.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so she's made different things like that. So, yeah, dude, I love it. It's good stuff. Yeah, that's a great way of getting dressing.
Just
And
make it
and
at
that's
home.
super easy to do.
Literally.
You literally just
And you
follow
don't
it
have to-
and you stir it.
It is literally 3 parts
And you can
oil,
make it
1 part
sweet.
acid.
Oh,
That's
talk
it.
to me about when you say parts.
Say parts in terms of just like measurements. Like look at it. That's it. That's it. I don't know
When
how
you
to.
Doesn't
first
make
did it, you're like,
sense.
oh, wait.
How does that doesn't make sense to me? I'm asking because I have these essential oil recipes I'm doing and I'm studying, but they refer to it as parts.
So think about it in terms of tablespoons or teaspoons or
So if it's
'Cause it's just
okay, I
equal
got
measure,
it.
right?
I got
teaspoons
it.
to
So
1
however many
teaspoon.
measurement metric you use,
Yes.
it's 3 more of this one to that one.
Yes.
Got you. That makes
So
sense.
like
I
I don't
know
ever
why
measure
never
it.
understood
I don't
that.
ever measure it. I just eyeball it. But it's
But I
just
see what you're
roughly
saying.
about
So 3 times as
three
much as
times as
whatever
much
you-
oil as you're using the acid, which can be
Makes sense.
lemon juice, which can be apple juice. You know, you could do
I make some mean oil blends, dude.
the orange. I mean, you can use whatever you want,
You know
or
what
the
works for
vinegar.
bar, did you?
No.
Okay, I know Heather did. So
Yeah.
she gets it faster. You probably know it just from
The
cooking.
mixologist
Did you ever-
stuff.
Oh, I just know that from cooking and
Oh, okay.
like.
The only reason I knew it was because I used to work at a bar.
Yeah, parts, that makes sense.
Because they would talk about it, and I was like, oh, what does that mean?
She never told me. I asked her, I'm like, Heather, what's this part stuff mean? And she never, like...
She probably just said, I'll just take
It's
care of
just
it.
kind of
she
like a
probably
cooking
just didn't
term.
even, like... She was busy when I asked her. It was one of those, like, you know, just small...
Yeah, it's just equal volumes.
Yeah.
So if you
Yeah.
have like,
That is
if
so
you
cool.
have like
That's
one
a good point. I
part-
never thought about
Yeah.
that. Might not make sense to people.
Yeah, no, to me, I don't know. It's like,
Yeah.
what parts? I'm just gonna do it my way.
Yeah, I'm just gonna
Yeah,
keep
it's
just
that's
that
really all it is.
makes
So
a
if
big
you're using
difference.
3 drops of one drop of the other. So if it's 3, parts to 1 part, then 1 drop, 3 drops.
Yes.
Yes.
This just put together, like, a whole big piece I was missing
Light bulb.
for my essential oils. I'm making essential oil blends and stuff that I want to, like... Dude, it's... Now I can really get, like, specific with my...
Mhm.
and ratios and diluting it. And that's what you'll have to like if you do use essential oils, like for cats, only specific ones are okay if they're diluted enough.
Mm-hmm.
But they have to be diluted, and you have to understand that parts part. So I would always read
Exactly
it,
right.
or like if you have a small dog, right? So if the dog's only 40 pounds or 30 or 20 or 10, like you have to dilute it versus our big dogs that are 100 pounds.
So you just take it.
Aries, I just three drops right in the head.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
But yeah. No, yeah. I mean, but it's easy.
I like it.
I mean, it's easy. And then if you don't want to make your own vinaigrette for your salads, then, just buy a vinaigrette at the store. I mean,
Good
it's
enough.
fine.
Yep.
Exactly. Be good enough. Just instead of doing ranch dressing, they also make a Greek yogurt
They do.
ranch dressing.
Oh,
It's
that's
the
right.
one that I like is OPA. And it tastes good. They have
So,
a feta one.
Kind of a way to go about it is the continuum is if you're going from not eating any veggies, eat your veggies with whatever it takes to put it in your mouth.
Yeah.
Right? And then when that's a habit, try to switch to maybe some store-bought lighter dressings, Caesar dressings, and maybe from there go into the vinaigrette store-bought,
Mhm.
and then maybe perhaps start making your own vinaigrettes.
Yeah.
And that's a good continuum in the sense of what else can we do that for? Let's talk
We
about
can do that from anything.
for anything,
Because you
exactly.
can go from like volume of dressing, like so you have your vegetables with a cup of dressing.
Yes.
Add 3/4 of a cup.
So you could
Half
break things
cup, so
down
you
to
can literally
even
just-
smaller
Yeah.
goals for you guys to work on. And then, okay, so I went from using a cup.
Mhm.
I went from not measuring my dressing to measuring my dressing.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That could be step one.
Yeah,
in a
'cause
sense.
what this looks like actually measure out to. So if I use like a tablespoon, it's like, well, I usually a lot more than that. Okay, well, no, that's
I'm
what it looks
actually
like.
using
It's-
7 teaspoons or tablespoons in my
Yeah.
dressing. It's like, oh, no.
Because I think that's one thing that's it's,
Creamer.
Yeah. Oh God.
Good.
How many times I'm like, I asked, do you drink coffee? Yes. Do you put a creamer in your coffee? Yes. Do you measure your creamer? What? No, I just do that. Oh. How many seconds? 2? 2 seconds?
Well, yeah.
1,
I
2.
break-
It's like 4 tablespoons.
That's a lot of creamer.
I break it down to now. So when I do coffee in the morning, okay, is it creamer and sugar and a splash coffee, or is it coffee and something else?
Yeah.
Well, I usually I have coffee and what color is it? Is it a light color? Is it a really dark color? Is
Are
it
you
somewhere in the
drinking milk
spectrum?
or are
Yeah.
you
And that's-
sipping
when
tar?
you start thinking about the spectrum, it's like, oh, well, it goes in your cup, it's like super black or, super dark brown.
Yeah.
Then you start lightening it up. What
Yeah.
color on the
Exactly.
spectrum is it?
So then the
That's a fair
continuum.
point.
Yeah.
That's really fair.
Because, really, like, we've all been there at least once where you put, like, too much sugar or too much creamer in your coffee and you're
Yeah.
like, well,
I've never
God,
been
it's not the way I drink that, but whatever, it's here now.
Yeah.
And that's what they end up with.
Yeah. But even,
Love
so
it.
like, I have a client who loves her creamer.
Mhm.
So she can start by measuring her creamer. And then from measuring
Yeah.
down to lowering the measurements down, slowly but surely.
Switching
And then eventually switching to like a whipped cream or some grass-fed butter, and going to like a bulletproof.
Just some, like, regular coconut oil.
Yeah.
There's so many options. I
absolutely.
like this today, guys.
That was just awesome.
I like that one.
So I
Okay.
guess in summary, today was about being good enough.
Good enough.
Yeah.
You know, like if you're in a rush, making some muscle mac and cheese
Mhm.
as a side is okay, right? Or if you have oatmeal for breakfast, throwing some protein in it to make it better, right? Adding cheese to your broccoli just so that way you eat broccoli or Brussels sprouts or carrots. Oh, what else?
Yeah, just
Sweet.
get it
Yeah.
in wherever you can. Blend it up if you have to.
Yeah.
Shred it up if you have to. Food process it up if you have to. But get it in, and if you don't like it, don't try and get it in. It would make no sense.
Yeah, go to the next
I
one.
agree.
You're comfortable with.
Yeah, I won't eat tomatoes.
Yeah.
Or like if you think about it, I won't eat raw tomatoes, but I'll eat cooked tomatoes.
Make a sauce.
So if you don't like, raw
Mhm.
broccoli, don't eat raw broccoli.
Yeah.
Roast it.
Roast it.
Yeah.
And just,
I won't eat boiled Brussels sprouts. I think boiled Brussels sprouts is nasty.
I never even tried to boil.
It's nasty.
I guess I steam them. That's
Well-
close, yeah.
Oh,
Really?
somewhat like.
Roast
Maybe
it.
that's what. Oh,
Cut 'em
see,
up.
I
Cut
don't
off the
mind
little-
Brussels sprouts roasted.
Yeah,
It's the steam that I'm just like.
it's soggy and it's gross. I don't like it.
You're right.
See, I
You're
got
right.
really,
I like the
got really
roasted because there's a crunch,
Mhm.
and there's also usually some sea salt and some
Yeah.
some type of seasoning with it. Yeah.
I just got.
Brussels sprouts, bacon, balsamic vinegar, and some salt. That is delicious.
Heather's made that exact thing.
Yeah,
That's so
it's
cool.
good.
Yeah. So as far as my challenge, I'm gonna keep that challenge for another week. I'm gonna just keep it. I'm gonna try and go 2 weeks with getting here 10 to 15 minutes early.
I'm gonna stick with the breakfast. I like it. It's been helping.
I gotta stop playing on my phone.
Oh, you're adding a new one.
Yeah, because I've been solid on getting up without the
First
without
snooze.
the snooze.
Yeah, or
Literally,
not
it
even
goes
first
off.
snooze. You just go up, get up.
But what I found.
Hey, what do
is-
you do to do that? What's your technique? So I've heard of people doing, or this lady I was listening to a video. She does like a countdown technique.
to like getting out of bed?
Getting out of bed. So she just kind of was like, all right.
That's
5,
that's what
4.
I'm dealing with because what I've been noticing is I open up the phone so the blue light hits me because I have the cover on it. So now when it goes off, I don't see the light, but I open it up and I've been playing on my phone to get the light and just get going. But the problem's been I've been like
Laying in
scrolling
bed.
there, and so I'm not snoozing anymore. But I'm up, so I give myself basically like a 5-minute snooze window where I'm like on there. But now I have to just the alarm goes off. I have to just get out of bed.
I see.
So it's literally just taking away that like buffer, so to speak. Because once the other lights go on, I'm fine. But it's
Yeah.
that first I gotta sit there, get my brain to go.
You know what I'm thinking about doing? Is, because I have my Google Homes, is getting a lamp right next to my bedside and then getting one of those smart bulbs and then just having a timer where at 4:30 in the morning it turns on. And then my alarm turns on at 4:45. So I slowly start waking up, and then
Yeah.
as opposed
I
to
like
just
that.
getting slammed out of bed, because I wake up better at 4:30, 4:45. But if I could get 15 more minutes of sleep or 30, right, and just still wake up with that pleasant,
Yeah.
like the Zeo. Remember the Zeo? We would wear that headband, and the way it would wake you up, you'd pick it up, and it would like buzz.
And get you going. Well, I know
Interesting.
we started watching Altered Carbon, and that's how.
I have to watch it. I haven't watched it yet. Oh, I
And,
I finished it. It's
that's,
good.
That's how the officer wakes up like, oh, the alarm goes off, turning lights to 20%.
Yeah.
And it's like
It like comes up real
That's
slow.
Yeah.
and
and
you
like-
can set that up.
that was like when you said that I was like, oh my god, I need that.
You get the Philips HomeLink system. I think I'm
Yeah.
gonna buy it this
Yeah,
month.
there's Bluetooth.
Yep.
Yeah.
And
Light
you can
bulb.
control it from home and everything, but just the whole like.
Talking about like the good. So real
Yeah.
side note, if you have CPS Energy, if you have the smart thermostat already, from
Mhm.
my understanding, I think you can actually upgrade it to the Nest at no extra charge. They will come in and install it.
And put the Nest in for you.
Yeah.
Wow. Because the Nest is a smart thermostat.
Yeah.
Dude, I was thinking about investing in that too, because it learns your routines and you can control it from your phone. And
Look
Dude,
into it, 'cause
I've
they
been-
might just be able to come in
I've been
and do it.
sweating at night. And it's
So is
cold.
David.
I'm taking showers. It's like nuts, man. So, I'm thinking I'm just using too much blankets is maybe what it is.
Yeah.
But I don't know. But then I don't know, it's a weird thing. And it's not all the time, but I started sweating. It I wake up and my sheets are like wet. Like from wherever I'm sleeping, I'm like, oh dude, it's so frustrating.
Has David changed anything in how he's been training lately?
Mm-mm. He's
Oh
just,
shit!
he's
I started
very,
training.
very
That's
hot.
mine. That's
yeah,
mine.
because what'll end up happening is as you start training more, your
Oh,
testosterone naturally goes
dude.
up in the middle of the night. So
Yeah,
testosterone goes when we
that's
go
what
up.
it
He's
is.
just naturally a hot person, and
Between
I've
10
been
and 2.
complaining
Yeah.
that the house is too cold. because he likes house like igloo cold.
Yeah.
Now that my sister's there,
Yeah.
I've got someone else on my side
Come back
being
up.
like, the house is freezing.
Yeah.
And so we've brought it up just a little bit.
That might be what
but
it
that
is,
yeah.
just a little bit coming up has made it way worse.
Tell
for
him to take a cold shower before bed.
before going to bed. That's a good idea.
That's my issue. It's just simply that.
Yeah.
And when I didn't exercise 2 days ago, whenever it was,
Yep.
yeah, that's it. So funny, and I love that's why we talk about it, right? Because it just helps you, like, oh yeah.
That's the biggest thing. So I know we got to wrap up soon because
Yeah.
Stephanie's got to head out.
I gotta
But,
head out.
Anything that happens to you, it's happening to somebody else, and even us, we're still learning as we go through all this
Absolutely.
stuff, and we're taking
We're not
ideas from
Learn
everybody.
all the
Yeah.
time.
So it's one of those, like, we have to talk about things because we learn. We got to talk about things because you learn. So if you're not asking questions, if you're not commenting, if you're not doing that stuff, then you're missing out, because if you have a question, somebody else has the same question. Help them out. Don't do it for us. Do it for you and somebody else.
That's right.
Absolutely. I like it.
Thank you
All right.
guys.
Thank you guys.
Thank you very much. Please like, share, and subscribe. And if you guys have questions, please put them in the comments below. We would love to be able to maybe answer some questions on a future podcast. But you got to ask questions to get questions answered. So
True story.
Thank y'all.
Absolutely. This is Isaac.
This is Anthony.
this is Stephanie. Have a good one, guys.
Bye, guys.
Thanks for checking us out. If you like this, go ahead, like it, share it, subscribe. Check us out on Facebook and Instagram.